This is the number one mistake that I see startups making with their branding and their domain name strategies. Hey, Chris Zuiker with Media Options, help companies to acquire the raw version of the brand, broken some of the best domains of the planet. So check that out over at MediaOptions.com. Check out ChrisZuiker.com. We do a daily podcast on episode 700 and gazillion, something crazy. Anyways, I was reading an article about a company that rebranded recently. The company was GoSuperscript.com. And one of the things they said in the rebrand was that they had started off very niche, providing a certain product, and they realized that at some point they had outgrown the original brand name, okay? Now, this is a very common thing that I see most startups. If you go to Crunchbase, you go to like Y Combinator, Techstars, what you'll see is that, it's the way into the market, okay? It's the way into it's kind of like the ankle biter. It's creating your blue ocean, okay? You're not gonna jump into the red ocean, but you're gonna niche down, okay? And then niching down allows you to create like a better product specifically for that niche. Okay, in this case, they were doing like digital insurance. I think they were like digitalassets.co.uk before this. And then they this rebrand over to Superscript, okay? So this is the number one mistake, is that when you are going and you're a startup, although you are going niche, if you do decide to, when you're thinking about your brand, make sure you have the ability to scale. Now, this is number 7. This is the 7th dimension, okay, of the 7 dimensions to how a domain impacts your brand. But that is your ability to scale beyond your current product portfolio. In this case, they had to rebrand because their original brand pigeonholed them in. They're playing a certain box. They're saying, hey, we outgrew this. Now, a great example that I quote quite a bit is Zen Payroll. They went through the same process. They're like, hey, we're no longer just doing payroll. We're now much bigger than that. We scaled, okay, and they rebranded to Gusto because Zen Payroll was too niche for them, and they didn't want Zen because Zen, I don't know. Zen actually is available, but it's probably like a gazillion dollars, and they said, hey, we want something different, and they went to Gusto. I like that brand. I think it's a great opportunity. A great brand. But here's the thing: if you're a startup, think about this in advance. Now, it's a common strategy, okay? It's a common strategy to niche down. But if a lot of times what happens is that, a startup, you don't have money, okay? And she's like, hey, Chris, I don't have $200,000, $300,000 to get into that. That's okay. That's okay. We literally have brands on DNX, okay? Domains on DNX that you can get, and you can get into maybe for $30,000 down, and you can get into the 24-month lease period, but you can lock in your brand. Okay, now there may be some kind of payment above and beyond that. Maybe it's $200,000, $300,000. I don't know. I don't know the domain you're going after. But what I want to say is that you can do it now. Okay, and you don't have to go through this costly rebrand. Now, a different topic here. Okay, on this rebrand, this company went with Go Superscript. Don't ever do that. I think that was just a very bad decision on their part to go with that domain name strategy because they'll never own their brand. There's another brand out there on superscript.com, okay? Who owns the positioning? Who owns the global positioning here? Well, guess what? Not Superscript, okay? Because they're Go. And even when you think about industry positioning, okay? The 7 dimensions are global positioning, industry positioning, branding, marketing, SEO, email security, and your ability to scale and pivot, okay? Yeah, they scaled, okay? They pivoted to this new rebrand. But wow, they really have negative marks on all those other aspects of the 7 dimensions. They're not ever going to own their global positioning. Industry position, they have a Go at the front, and so most people are going to say, okay, are you a startup? It's going to keep them in the perpetual startup mode versus looking like an elite company. Okay, when you use a Go or a Try or a My or a .co, not necessarily the .co. That has other issues completely, but when you go with a Try or Go, it makes you look like a perpetual startup. And that's not what you want, right? You want to create, especially in that industry with insurance, you want to create trust, okay? You want to create trust. So they don't own their global positioning. It looks like a perpetual startup. Industry-wise, people are going to look at them and they're going to rank their business amongst other businesses and say, okay, I trust them, okay? Branding, they don't own their brand. Marketing, every time they market, they're say, hey, don't go over to Superscript, go to Go Superscript, okay? They're going to continually have to talk about their brand in a negative light. They have massive email security issues because a lot of emails will go just the superscript, because go is almost this descriptor they put at the end. Okay, it's like this, it's like a filler word at the beginning because they couldn't get the raw version of their brand. So listen, don't do it. You don't have to do this. You literally do not have to do this. There's brands and there's owners that will give you lease option for your brand. Okay, and you can, if you don't have the money, okay, if you don't have the capital, you can get into it with a very little down. You can lease option, and then you can have the ability to buy it at any single time. So typically how this deal works for us, like in many deals we've done, is there may be, let's say it's $50,000 down. It's $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month to lease that. And then that gives you an option to buy it maybe for $300,000 at any given point during that lease option, okay? The lease option could be extended beyond, let's say, to 36 months, and maybe it goes up another level, okay? It goes up from $5,000 to $7,000 or $10,000 to $12,000, okay? But still gives you that option. So what this does, this limits your risks, limits the risk, okay? That's what you're trying to do, right? In the beginning. But it allows you to lock in your brand, okay? Lock in your brand in this simple, like the simplest way, okay? In the end, your domain name equals your brand equity. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a simplistic and effortless path for your customers to find you. You're trying to own your messaging, okay, global positioning, and give you the best ability to scale so you don't have to rebrand like so many startups have to, okay? Like so many, you don't have to rebrand. Like why set yourself up for that? Okay, hope you enjoyed this. If you did, share it up. Go to chriszuiker.com. Listen, download my book.com strategies. You can find that over at chriszuiker.com. You can find it over at mediaoptions.com, the resource tab, and share this up. You just got done listening to another episode of .com Strategies. Check us out online at chriszuiker.com and at mediaoptions.com.